teus egrégios avós, que há de guiar-te à vitória, às armas, sobre a terra, sobre o mar, às armas, pela pátria lutar, contra os canhões marchar, marchar.
Tem Félix, recolhe junto ao bico da grande área, vai combinando Gonçalo Ramos, atenção, remate! Estava louco a bola, pirou do caminho, cruzamento direto! Gonçalo Ramos! As luzes de uma estreia, o brilho do palco, tu és craque e mereces o brilho, Gonçalo! Nuvens são só nuvens! Portugal neste campeonato do mundo vai ter o sol a brilhar para todos nós!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for another podcast special of the World Cup. We got a smile on our face. We got another win, a win that we sure as hell didn't expect to be as emphatic as it was, but we'll take it. It's good to win a game every now and then without stress. With you today, we have Kenny, Paul, Oscar, and Bill. Boys, how are we?
Feeling good.
Feeling pretty good.
Let's cheers to this unbelievable victory.
Cheers. Yeah. Cheers to that. Cheers to those of you watching in the chat. We got a lot to talk about. Not only do we have the game to talk about, we have first starts for some, incredible performances. We have, as Oscar has it here, as Oscar has it here in his hashtag and his name, Engenheiro Balls. It looks like Fernando Santos
I meant to say, like, Roger Ball, Engenheiro Ball.
Okay. He may have found some courage to make some certain decisions. We'll talk about that because, of course, we can't not talk about the elephant in the room. We will talk about the knockout stages and what's left of this World Cup. And do you touch a team that performs well? So lots of questions to discuss here. For those of you who are tuning in, chat, listening, or watching, join us in the conversation. Leave us your thoughts, your feedback, your comments, your questions, your conspiracy theories, whatever you want. Join the conversation. We want it to be as interactive as we can. So, and hopefully we won't get kicked off Facebook today because I changed the video at the beginning, so we won't have any copyright issues like we did last time. Also, as you can see, Bill and I are repping the new apparel here. So if you're interested in buying some apparel and supporting our project, let us know. Send us a message. We got gray and black coming out in the next month, so we'll have multiple colors. We got t-shirts and hoodies, so let us know. In the comments, we already got JL Silva, Deus comemos, and João Miguel says beef Bill. Para a malta que esteja a ver em português, estejam à vontade de participar aqui nesta nossa conversa. Hoje o podcast é em inglês, especial aqui em relação ao Mundial. mas todos percebemos português, por isso aproveitem para deixar os vossos comentários, as vossas questões, opiniões aqui na caixa de comentários e nós iremos falar sobre elas. Boys, 6-1 against Switzerland, a team that held Brazil to a tight game. I believe Brazil won 1-0, if I'm not mistaken, in the 85th minute. Casemiro was the header, right? Was that the game? Or shot?
It was
Volley?
a shot. Casemiro shot.
Okay.
Yeah, the shot.
So, a Swiss team that we're very familiar with. We've played them a variety of times in multiple competitions. I think most recently in the Nations League, if I'm not mistaken.
We played them twice
know-
back to back within 7
Yeah.
days.
And I know that I'm not alone when I say that I didn't expect the game to be this wide open. But I'm going to start with, who am I going to start with today? There's a lot of different angles depending on who I start with because the conversation can go in completely different directions. So let me see which
No, start
direction.
with Kenny. Start with Kenny.
All right, I want to start with Kenny. Obvious question, right? What did you think of the game? But I think even more obvious question is, and again, this can unravel quickly. And Bill, Oscar, Paul, jump in, interact, interrupt. Let's make this as non-formal as possible. Oscar, Sylvia's here. She's watching you. She's very.
I told you to block. I told you to block her.
If she gets out of hand, I'll block
she's
her.
She's not gonna like
Yeah.
anything I said today.
If she gets
And
out of
then
hand,
all
I'll
of a
block
sudden we'll see Luca pop up
Yeah.
on the chat.
Kenny, thoughts on this game, and how surprised are you at the two obvious changes in the starting 11? Ronaldo on the bench, something we haven't seen in a very long time, at least in a very important game. And João Cancelo on the bench, I think, was another surprise that caught people off guard. So let us have it.
So I know Oscar wants to take this down the route that the media wanted to take it today because a lot of the game is actually talking about Ronaldo versus the actual game, but we'll try to keep it game related. We'll talk about Ronaldo later. But listen, this is a result that I could have never imagined. In my wildest dreams, coming into this game, I would have never expected 6-1 at this stage after qualifying pretty comfortably out of the groups. Would have never imagined this type of result. I think out of all the other games at this stage, we probably, in my opinion, had the tougher challenge, and we came out like above and beyond everybody else in their results. The changes, obviously a huge surprise. Ronaldo not in there. And listen, give credit where credit's due to Fernando Santos for making that absolutely difficult decision. It panned out. It worked. Ramos comes in, scores 3. I mean, that first goal was a stunner, right? I mean, to begin with. And I think that changed the whole dynamic of the game. But I do think, I mean, despite Ramos obviously getting a hat trick, Dala was a game changer, in my opinion. Like, the guy is super impressive. He played well. And the team looked great. I mean, there's no question about it. They looked better. They played a great attacking football, which we always talk about how difficult it is to see with our style. The game opened up, so I think it made it easy. But, yeah, a lot of these players shine. I mean, Felix for the first time looked like Felix of, Benfica back in the day. So, yeah, a very impressive win. This, I hope, kind of puts a little bit of, because I feel like no one really respects us. A lot of the other opponents, we always seem like to be the good team that no one really cares about or talks about much. I think this puts kind of a little bit of, hey, we got to watch out for those guys, because this is something that, a Ronaldo saying, without Ronaldo, this team could be different. Maybe, for the better. Obviously, this game turned out really good for us. But holy shit, man, what an impressive victory today.
I agree. I agree with a lot of what you said. I'm going to ask you this question before I pass it away. And I know that we may or may not have talked about it in the group chat. I think there was long novels that were written back and forth, and sometimes I just scroll through them because they blur my eyes. I know Fernando Santos said in the press conference before the game today that his decision to bench Ronaldo had nothing to do with the situation that happened against South Korea. I'll ask you, do you believe that? And second, assuming that you don't believe that, do you agree with him making this decision to bench him off the back of that?
It's a tough one. I think it had something to do with it because prior to that, he was starting him, right? Regardless of how he, everything else that was going on with his, the club decisions and the club career that he was having this past year, he was still starting him. I think that it did have something to do with it. And I think it's one of those moments that, we'll remember, just like in 2004, when the old guard changed out after Scolari, after that first game, a lot of the new guys came in. I think this will be that moment where it's like the transition, as difficult as it's been to make that transition, it's finally done. And it was done in such a good way with this result that I don't think you can turn back, right? Unless there's obviously an injury or something, but I don't think you can turn it back. And I think it did have a little bit to do with that. But I do still think that there's a lot, like they did talk about it in the back, behind the scenes. They hashed it out. I don't think it was that big of a deal. Me personally, I think it's Ronaldo, we all know, is a very competitive guy. Like there's no way you can't expect that from the top players in the world. I mean, I can give you examples from every other sport of guys with that same mentality that have done that, if not worse, at that level. I don't think it was that big of a deal. I think that he had to kind of, hey, I'm the coach. Listen, you can't do this. Behind the scenes, they hashed it out. I think they have tons of respect for each other. I think Ronaldo, despite what everyone says, I don't think he's selfish. I think he respects everyone in that locker room. I think he leads that group. They all, after the game.
Hold on. I'm going to interrupt you. Did you see the video? Did you see the video after the game today?
What video?
Ronaldo walking off the field and leaving the team on the field celebrating.
Okay, so did you guys see that? Okay, so
no, I'm gonna. Hold on.
I did see it.
The context behind is,
but the video.
You say that you think Ronaldo leads this locker room and that he respects, the group and everything. Do you think? And this is, I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm just asking you genuinely off the back of what you just said. Do you think a captain that's been a captain for so long respects the group and respects the decision that was made by walking off the field? You can be frustrated that you didn't play, but in my opinion, I think he would have been better off if he stayed with the team on the field. I think it's a bad look for him to be the first one and only one to walk off the field in that situation with everyone else celebrating. But I wanted to ask you if you had seen that, and do you still feel the same way? Yeah.
So the video that's circulating is him walking off the field. The video that isn't circulating, that only
he went and said hi and thank you to the fans.
Yes.
Correct. So but why not stay with your team?
So he's going first, and as he's turning around, the team there's Pep's right behind him.
Yep.
So
what people don't see is Pep
Mario.
Yeah.
And Pep is right there too.
No, Pep is not right there. Is João Mario going back? But my question is, does João Mario go if Ronaldo doesn't leave?
So why is that an issue? That's such a joke of an issue.
It's okay. It's not an issue, but to me, as a captain, you lead the team through victory and through loss. You go to thank the fans that came all the way to Qatar to right.
He did that though.
But he leads the team there and leads the team to the locker room as a captain. He did this and then was the first one into the locker room.
He didn't just do this. He stayed. He sat in front of the people, clapped, applauded everyone, walked, like he took his time doing it. The team, I don't think it's an issue. The team was trailing behind him, and then he turned around and walked off. That's the video that everyone is talking about and that everyone sees. So in my personal view of it, again, everyone has their own point of view on this, and I have my own. And I can see it. You can see it through Ronaldo's eyes, and you can see it through the team's eyes. As Ronaldo, as the greatest player, as you are understanding what's happening to you, having a moment to yourself, like this is probably the moment that is that I'm talking about, that transition period where he probably is like, this is probably it for me. Like this is the last road of my Seleção career, and he's just taking that moment. Now he celebrated every goal with passion with the team. I didn't see any part of him not being a teammate or being against a teammate or being selfish or none of that. The media is what's carrying that narrative.
Yeah,
Right.
because another part of that is when after the first goal, there was like a picture that circulated that Ronaldo's kind of sitting with like his hand on his face like this, like not really celebrating, but they
He
didn't show
jumped
any of the celebrations. Yeah, it's like
He's
they're
on
they're
top
like
of
feeding
everyone.
you a certain image. Yeah, it's I think this everyone's like I feel like Ronaldo can't have any emotion without getting like some sort of hate or love from fans. Like he's obviously upset. Like he used to be like the guy on this team. He doesn't come in, doesn't start the game for the first time in however long, and we look amazing. Like anyone's gonna feel like shit. That would be like just take another sport. Say like Tom Brady's playing, and then he gets subbed out, and then all of a sudden the team comes back and wins. He's not gonna be there and be like happy about it, right? It's a transition. He can have feelings, dude. He's a human being. I don't get why everyone's like attacking him for every little thing he does. I don't
For
get
me-
that at all.
For me, the walk off, yes, it looks worse than it really is. Like if you play the whole thing out, I don't think it looks as bad. And for me, in my personal opinion, I think he's taking that as he's reflecting back on himself and how things have kind of worked out the way it is. I'm sure he probably was like, you know what? Like I didn't hear him. He made like Fernando Santos came out and said when he told him about not starting, he was fine with it. Gonzalo Ramos spoke highly of him after the game. Pep also spoke highly of him after the game. I don't think there's any issue that Ronaldo's causing over this decision. He respected the decision. I'm sure he was sitting there hoping like, all right, this is going to be a close one. I'm going to come in. I'm going to score the game winner. It didn't go out that way. And he's probably reflecting back on like, hey,
let me ask you a question.
My career.
Do and this is you, like obviously you've been saying a lot of things that you think this is him, that you think of what he's thinking, what he's going through. Do you think he'd rather have us win 6-1 today without his help, or have the game be 1-1 and him come in and score the winning goal in the 90th minute?
I'm glad you asked that, because there's a quote of him before the tournament started.
I know the quote. I'm asking you as
what is the
Kenny
quote?
studied.
And he said even if I don't score any goals, I'd rather Portugal win the Campeonato. I heard that quote.
Yeah,
But do you believe that? I don't believe
Okay,
that.
so no, I do not believe that, because he is the type of competitor. I compare him to Michael Jordan. Okay, Jordan was out of his mind. I don't give a shit who's out there. I'm better than you, and that is Ronaldo. I don't give a shit who's out there. I don't care.
You know the
how
difference
old I am.
between-
I am
you know-
better than you.
You know the difference between Jordan and Ronaldo is when Jordan knew he sucked, he went to play baseball.
Then
Not
he came
true.
back.
Then he
Not true.
then he came
actually
back.
thought he was better than the
And
baseball
tried
players
to
who
go.
wanted to play them. And he came back, and he still did well when he came back. These type of players, regardless of what you think, I know Oscar. I know what you want, like Ronaldo to leave on the high.
I do.
Right?
I'm not
Go
not
on
like
his
this.
own. But these guys do not have that mentality. These guys have been the best of the best at the top of their careers. They are not going to walk out unless like it's like this type of moment where it's like, okay, you're getting benched, and then this happens. And that is, to me, Ronaldo walking off the field is finally reflecting, hey, this is it. Like, this is probably the end of it. Again, this is just my opinion. This is how I read it. And a lot of people are reading it as he doesn't give a shit about his teammates. He only cares about himself. He wants a spotlight on himself. And that's fine. That's your opinion. I don't see that. I think like the criticism of Ronaldo that he's selfish, he's a bad guy, this and that. I do not believe that one bit. I don't.
Okay.
I just think he's a competitive, fiery guy.
Do you think like another point though is like if we thought it was going to be a close game that Ronaldo couldn't play the full 120, so they saved him? Because to be honest, in the tournament, Ronaldo hasn't been like this superstar that we need, right?
We don't
So-
expect. I didn't expect that.
Right. Well, no. So I didn't expect Gonzalo Ramos to start either, but I if you think of it like as a long game, I don't think Ronaldo could have been out there for 120 minutes, and you probably want him in the PKs at the end. So that could have been another part of it. Like, we'll bring you in.
I'll tell you what I think. I think Santos. I agree with Kenny. I think that what happened in South Korea's game might have like influenced in a little bit the decision, but I think this was more of a technical. Is it how I say it? Technical decision.
Tactical.
Yeah, decision. Because remember, they even brought this up. Ramos had a specific job to do today, and it was to come back and basically take Xhaka out of the game. And he did that. We didn't hear Xhaka at all today. We did not hear about him. And against Serbia, he played a hell of a game. Right. So I think Ramos coming in, and then I think this decision for Fernando Santos was made easier because of what Ronaldo did. That's only but I think more this was more thinking about the game. That's why he
I
did this up.
Yeah, I think he's probably wanted to do this, and I think like what happened in the Korea game made it like gave him a way to kind of shape it to the fact that like, yeah, I didn't like what happened. This is gonna essentially be a punishment for him lashing out publicly on the field, and allowed him to make that change. Because I don't think we win 6-1 with Ronaldo starting. I don't think
Why not? We won. We beat them 4-0 in June.
I don't
Ronaldo,
think
Ronaldo had 2 goals and had a third that was offsides.
I don't think our attack looks as flowing as it did today. Like with Ronaldo, I don't think we move the ball going forward like we did with Ramos in there. Like I think going forward we look more fluid. I didn't think it was so rigid. I think the guys up front were interchanging. I don't see us playing that well with Ronaldo up top. I got to hold on. There's the old argument where like players see Ronaldo and they feel like they have to get him the ball. I can see that to a sense, right? Like in those first 2 games, there was times where like, why are we playing these crosses from like 40 yards out, trying to feed Ronaldo in the box, right? And you didn't see any of that today, right? Today you saw the free flowing possession game. Once we got up there, we made the runs between lines, and we looked a lot better than we've had all tournament.
I wanna ask you guys a few questions. Hold on. So Sylvia made a comment here, which do you think? So I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a huge poll that was heavily talked about before the game on the Portuguese media of, should he start, should he not? And it was like 70% was like Ronaldo shouldn't start. And she asked, do you think the poll had an impact on how he would be seen if the public opinion was to bench him and he didn't? That's my first question. Do you guys think that's the case?
I don't think so. I don't think the Fernando Santos looked at the poll. I think he's just a combination of what happened the last few days with what happened in South Korea to what he wanted to accomplish this game is what made them do that decision. The poll is basically the Portuguese fans. There's some 20% like Kenny that still believe, and that's fine. But then there's like a majority that already start to see that this team plays better without Ronaldo in it. And maybe Ronaldo is still a crucial piece at a moment where we need a goal. We need a goal, and we need the killer guy, the killer instinct that Ronaldo has to come in and save us, right? Because maybe Ramos wants there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of playing against the French, where he doesn't have a lot of space, he'll probably choke, and we need a guy like Ronaldo to come in and save us. But right now, for Portugal to blossom, is without him. The players that around Ronaldo play a free game without him there. There's a quote, and I heard it on today before he came on the pod. Some flowers blossom when they are no longer in the shadow.
This guy.
Or in the shade. Sorry, I said that wrong.
Like a poet now, dude.
And that's a fucking fact, dude. Every single player.
Not just a poem; it's a fact.
Fact. I agree with it. So all the players around that played today, the young guys. Do you see? Kenny said it earlier. João Felix probably had his best game for the Seleção. Is it not true? He looked like.
Yeah, but this is also a small sample. I think today we looked awesome. But what if next game we get the same lineup out there and we get smashed?
Exactly.
You're basing off one game.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is that
I agree that we played awesome.
We played awesome, and we have to rely on a team like this. This young team.
We're gonna have to, because it's coming to an end. So the future is without Ronaldo, but it is.
I do feel like. I feel like there's no way. So I'm almost 100% sure that it'll be the same lineup next game. Because how do you switch it now after 6-1?
Absolutely.
And I know that this was the topic is I was not surprised to see Dalot, because I think he's better than Cancelo anyway. But I was surprised that Ronaldo didn't start.
I think the surprise. What are you basing Cancelo?
What are you basing
Guerreiro starting and Cancelo not?
Yeah, what are you basing
Cancelo better than the whole tournament?
Yeah. But I'm just saying that it was a surprise.
Right? Like for the ones complaining about Ronaldo, Cancelo has not done good either.
He sucked. Right. He hasn't done shit.
Agreed.
I was calling for it even before. In the group text, I wanted Dalot to get a chance, because if you have 2 guys that are good, because Dalot's been one of the best Man U players this year,
And
If you have
Casillas
two
been
guys-
for Man City one of the best players in that
right.
team
So
too.
you have two guys that are good. If one's sucking, the other one should get a shot. He shouldn't just
Yeah,
sit
I
on the
agree.
bench.
I agree.
So that's why I was not surprised that he started at all. Because I think he's better than Cancelo. I do.
And I thought he played really well today. I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't a big fan of his, but he looked really good today. I want to run through some of these comments because I'm sure it'll engage some conversation here. Rui, he says, I think there's an evil and a good twin on Fernando Santos.
Yeah, we need to
got the
talk
evil
about
twin
him.
today.
We have to talk about Fernando Santos because he's been criticized too by a lot of people, including Oscar as well. So
Yeah,
want
I criticized
We will,
him
and
until he had balls, and now he
Let's
has
talk
balls.
about him now, because Nick says, I want to publicly apologize to Fernando Santos. I didn't think he had these attacking tactics in the bag. And I'm gonna add to this and let you guys dissect it, which is right. We saw today that we had attacking tactics, right? And I think we've all at some point in the last 4, 5, 6 years, however long he's been in charge, talked about if this Portuguese national team with the talent that we had a more modern thinking coach, that we could do great things because we have an incredible team across the field. But do you think that based on the fact that Ronaldo takes a back seat today, right? And I know that some players read the media, some players don't, but I can't convince myself that they haven't all seen the conversation of Portugal plays better without Ronaldo. Ronaldo slows the offense down. Do you think this was also an opportunity for that next generation to say, listen, like he's taking a back seat, right? Let's stand up and say present and prove that, right? Like we can carry the torch, right? Not to make him look bad, but to say like, listen, our leader for the last however many years is sitting down. Let's show up and say, listen, we got this, right? You can trust us if he's not here. And they said present. Do you guys think that was an added motivation in this situation? Whoever wants to go.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it was just like in 04, like Kenny said earlier, right? Like we made all those changes in 04 after that first game. I'm sure it was the same thing then. Like those guys coming in, the new blood was like, fuck it, we got this. This golden generation has carried us to here. Let's go. And I'm sure it's these guys got their shot today, especially Ramos. Like clearly, fucking came into the game and he was a little extra motivated because I did not fucking see a hat trick coming out of.
But you need to think too. This is like these games are do or die now too. Every team is playing harder than they did in the groups. Like Brazil had 3 goals all group stages. They like smoked South Korea.
And they could have scored more if they didn't take the foot off the gas.
Yeah. So I think you have to like take these games into consideration. Like this is the first knockout. It's do or die. These guys are going to play their ass off, and luckily and gladly they did. Like I was very surprised on the 6-1 as well.
I felt like there was a lot more space in this game too. Whether it was us that opened it up and our tactics, whatever. But
I think us getting that early goal kind of forced them to kind of open up a bit and try to get the equalizer, which in return.
But even then, even after we scored the
us.
first goal, they didn't really open up that much. I mean, we scored on a set piece, that second goal. I felt like the second half was like guns blazing. Like there was just so much space in between the lines. Everyone was just running at defenders. It was complete chaos. Oscar, what do you think of the situation? I know we said it in the group chat that first half, or really the game as a whole, was basically a confirmation for people like you who have advocated for the fact that we play better with Ronaldo. But like Kenny and Paul said, this is a small sample. But I would assume that you were pleasantly surprised with the narrative that you've defended to see what happened today.
No, I mean, I've been saying it since the 2019 Nations League. I've been preaching since then because Ronaldo got hurt and we saw a little bit of glimpse of what Portugal can do without Ronaldo. We saw João at that time shine for Portugal. He was scoring goals. André Silva was scoring a lot of goals. And then we had when Ronaldo came back and he actually played that final against Netherlands. The semifinals against Switzerland, we scored all those goals 3-1. I think we won 3-1 and he scored all 3. So we came back to relying on Ronaldo, every single player playing for Ronaldo. And you saw those younger guys like João and Bernardo kind of fading off and not playing to their potential. And I always preach like Ronaldo is a world star player but if he brings the ball, he wants the ball to himself all the time. He wants the ball, all the assists come to him. And that's how I feel. I mean, I'm sorry if that's not how you guys feel. You guys think Ronaldo doesn't make a difference on how the players play. No, he does. When he tells somebody to fuck off because they didn't pass, or because somebody chose to shoot and not pass it to him. Today, if Rafael Leão didn't score, I wonder what the reaction would be, because he was right in the middle of the box. He could have scored, right? I just wonder if Rafael Leão didn't score, what his reaction would be.
But I don't think that affects anyone on the field. Like, that's just the type of player.
I know, but
I can show you a 6-minute video of
okay, then I don't
complaining to his coaches and his teammates.
I get it,
like, but everyone respects him, just like everyone still respects Ronaldo.
Dude, I'm just talking. Can I say my opinion? If you don't agree, you don't have to agree with it. But it's my opinion.
Exactly.
I'm saying that if I'm Rafael Leão and the best player in the world, or the GOAT of the Portugal national team, yells at me, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Then that shows how weak you are. That shows how weak
and that's fine. But
that doesn't make no sense.
Dude, that's how a lot of players play like that. Maybe you're world class and you take that.
World class? No one's.
I don't know.
I feel like back in the day, yeah, but not so much anymore. Like, I feel like before.
All right, then why does João Felix play better without Ronaldo on the field?
Dude, it's one game, bro.
I know it's not one game. I just brought you back to the Nations League, where that's why my argument came from.
Ronaldo was on the field in June. They won 4-1. João Felix scored that game. Ronaldo scored 2 goals. I can show you many examples of when João Felix has scored with Ronaldo on the field. They just beat the Swiss team in fucking June. They killed them, and they both scored in that game. It just depends. Like Paul said, next week we can get fucking trounced with this same lineup, and then what are you gonna say? It just happens that today was a fucking great day. It doesn't like, if Felix cannot play with Ronaldo on the field, or with, like, if Ronaldo's on the field and Felix is weak, that just shows how weak of a player Felix is, not because of Ronaldo.
And I think Felix has looked good this tournament so far. Like, today was his definitely best performance, but there's been moments in the group stage where Felix he's looked really good.
I thought the first game he was, but I mean, it was also the opening night. But today was like, Felix looked like
the Felix of Benfica.
Years.
Yeah.
He looked good. Let me run through. We got so many comments. Let me run through these comments. I don't want the people to think we're ignoring them. Let's see. Joaquin says, "What the hell's the Sporting kid doing on here? Is this the Halloween edition?"
Portugal, dude. Is that coach?
Yeah. He had a subtitles comment earlier.
Red Baron says, best game played under Fernando Santos, not won, but played under Fernando Santos. SLBS says, I think it's a non-issue. He's been there hundreds of times and walked off naturally. Agreed. Media sucks and is trying to drive the talking points. Joaquin says, praise CR7 for being pissed. So many young players don't have his passion for the game. He has money, fame, status, but he still wants to be there playing. I applaud him. Danny says, Obi, stick to football. Jason says, Oscar's wrong.
What else is new with Jason?
Let's see. Talking about. Let's see what else we got here. I think Joey says, I think it would be a bigger problem if there wasn't a reaction from him. SLBS says, is he selfish? I don't care. He is who he is. You can't change who you are. He's an athlete, not a priest. Fair. Red Baron says he's still going to play an important role through the tournament. Watch him. Joaquin says, one thing is certain, there's no way in hell that Gonçalo Ramos gets benched now. Jason says, hey, boys, Ramos is good enough now. Joey, a lot of this Ronaldo
third option for Portugal.
He says, can we talk Dalot? What a game. Yeah, I mean, we just talked about Dalot. I mean, I think he's developed a lot in the last year. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of him, but today he was spectacular. Manny says, I'm with Paul. He didn't start because Fernando Santos was playing on a tight game that possibly would go to extras. This is for those of you who don't have context and don't know. Manny is struggling mightily with the decline of Ronaldo in his career. So
no, I thought I saw a text from him saying send him home.
I think he finally
that was that video of him.
That was before
in the field.
This was before he took his medicine. Yeah, he's struggling heavily with.
He's on both sides.
Are we gonna have like a Fernando Santos?
Yeah, we'll talk about the coach. I just want to make sure that we catch up on the comments. So this is look at Oscar reading his notes. I'm actually more impressed by Kenny. Came ready to go today. Kenny's not one that remembers like past games and situations, and he's just like, we won 4-1. He scored there. We did that. He did this. He did
Well,
4 step overs.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Is because I was so surprised that we beat them by this much. I actually went back and looked at because I don't care usually about the historics because it's like every game's different. But I went back. I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I mean, usually we play tight games, and then I saw 3-1, 4-0. I'm like, so we've had really good success against the Swiss with Ronaldo there, but that's outside the point. I did want to touch on one thing I wanted to bring up because I know we talked about this last time was like Ronaldo's legacy. And I know Oscar's talked about, oh, I don't want to see like Ronaldo's legacy is getting hurt. Ronaldo's legacy is it's so sad to see. I do not think, despite Ronaldo being on the bench today, hearing the fans at the stadium, the amount of media that picture that's getting circulated, the media in front of the bench, like completely almost avoiding the starting lineup, but in front of the bench. And then when Ronaldo comes in, trust me, there is nothing that's going to, obviously besides like a terrible off the field type of incident, that is going to ruin Ronaldo's legacy. And again, my opinion, whether he fades away from the Seleção at this point, I think nothing is going to hurt his legacy. And wherever he goes next, I think he will, I don't think he's obviously got that many years left in him. I think he's got still 1 or 2 years that he can provide something to some team out there. But his legacy to me is locked in and will be fine. Like no one's going to remember
I think
that he walked off on Man United and all this other bullshit. Like the interview, no one's going to remember that in like 20, 30 years.
I don't think I was talking about his legacy as what he's accomplished. Like
you said, this is sad what's happening to Ronaldo.
It's sad the way that he's leaving the Seleção or the way he's the downfall for him on the Seleção, because it's not through, hey, listen, you don't have the legs anymore, so we're going to be playing you off the bench. It's more through these moodiness things or him talking to a coach or talking back to a coach or doing what he did against South Korea. That's what I don't want to Ronaldo to leave the Seleção as, because he did leave the Manchester United like that, right? And I did not want that for the Seleção with Ronaldo. I wanted Ronaldo to have a statue and leave through the big door. That's all I wanted for Ronaldo. And him doing these whining about coming off and all that shit, it's only hurting it. It's only hurting that image of him. That's it.
Every player that I heard comments on after the game talked highly of him, and we're talking Ramos, Pep, the coach. I think it was someone else. I forget who the other person is.
They have to, bro. They're teammates and coaches. They're not going to say Ronaldo sucks on the World Cup, on the quarterfinals. They're not going to say Ronaldo pisses me off in the locker room. So then you actually think Ronaldo? I don't think it. I don't think anything. But me as a teammate, and if Ronaldo does that, if I'm about Ronaldo, I think it was Ramos coming in for him against South Korea, right? Him coming off the field and kind of yelling at the coach, not yelling at the coach, but saying shit out loud, like "Estás com uma pressa do caralho para me tirar para fora." Like, I'm coming in for you. I'm like, dude, like, I'm coming in for you, dude. Give me a fucking high five and go sit your ass on the bench and stop whining.
Dude, he said that in the middle of the field, not when he was leaving
as he was
field.
coming off. As Pep was giving him, it was going towards Pep to give him the armband, and he said that.
Ronaldo just needed some drama for his Netflix series. That's why he had to.
Yeah, maybe. And then he has his wife or girlfriend, or whatever the fuck she is, come in on social media and give another. If you don't think that's irony, like what she was trying to do, being sarcastic about the poster she put, then somebody needs to put glasses on your face or something.
Wait, what happened?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, what happened? There?
We need info here. Oscar follows the wives. We don't.
No, I don't follow. No, I actually, it was I was.
She posted today. She criticized the coach.
She criticized because o teu amigo Fernando, blah blah blah. Hopefully, he's still in your side, so you can play the 90 minutes and blah blah, so I can celebrate your goals. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, sit down, watch the game, and shut up. Like, why are you guys creating more drama?
That happens in every sport, though. That doesn't.
I get it, but I just don't like it. I don't like.
I want to see. Would she tweet that? I want to see it.
If I'm Ronaldo, I go home and I tell her, why the fuck
can we get a
are you
screenshot?
She said it's unfortunate. She basically said, unfortunately, we didn't get to see the best player for 90 minutes. And while they were singing the national anthem, they were chanting your name, and everyone got excited when you came on the field. And hopefully God and your friend Fernando are holding hands together, and we can sit again, it's just another post about why they're upset that he didn't start.
I don't think.
Oh God.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I gotta say, I'm not. I can't comment because I didn't see it, so I don't really know.
I
But
can-
you
I can
can't
pull it up.
blame.
I don't
So
see
you're
it. I
gonna
don't
blame
think
that
that's
on
like-
Ronaldo?
No, you're
How
not
is
blaming
that
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo? No.
But like, but this is affecting him. It's affecting his obviously it's they have their own choice. But when his sisters and his wife or girlfriend and whoever it is in his family come and put this on social media, basically attacking the coach because they don't play him, it's affecting him.
That doesn't seem like an attack.
All right, because Ronaldo didn't start. He's basically, your tu grande amigo. Hopefully, you guys are still hand in hand so you can play.
I'm
It's
trying
like-
to,
Okay, maybe I'm seeing it wrong. I don't know, but a lot of people.
you know
on
what's funny is
a lot of
is
people on
you
TV
say
were
that-
saying like,
and Sylvia mentioned it to me as well, and Sylvia's, against you when it comes to this. I know I'll find it somewhere.
His
I
sister
forgot where
said
the hell I
something too?
read it. His sister posted something too. If you guys can find it while I go through these comments. Sylvia says, I think a lot of everyone else's poor performance gets put on him, and I agree they're on a big stage to be scared by who's playing alongside them. When Manny is saying send him home, that's not a good thing. This is very true.
yeah, and he said, I have proof. I'm not deleting that.
Rafa Leon plays better without CR7. Firstly, he's afraid of CR7 yelling at him, and secondly, CR7 wants the ball, but not in space. It holds Rafael Leon down. I don't agree with that. Rafael Leon hasn't played very much with Ronaldo.
And when he does
So-
play, he actually shoots on net. He doesn't pass it, or he doesn't pass it to Ronaldo.
Yeah,
a
he's
lot of
also
time.
very lazy. He
Yeah.
can shoot it, I'll tell you that, but he's very lazy.
I don't agree with like players being afraid of other players that you play with. Like that to me is just wild. I just don't think that's
Yeah, I can feel
accurate
like if
on
you're
any
a young kid first time on, like get intimidated, but at this stage
Dude,
right now, I
Paul,
don't see it.
you're talking about Rafael Young, who's 20. João Felix is 21, and Ronaldo's 38.
Dude, João Felix should not be scared of Ronaldo. Leon isn't scared of
All
Ronaldo.
right,
He doesn't
when-
even pass
when,
to him.
When Ronaldo went to play for Manchester United, I think this is I might be wrong, but I think I've seen quotes or interviews with Ronaldo saying that when Roy King spoke, he fucking shit his pants.
All right, I found the quote in
But my-
Portuguese. So she said, this is translated. Bill sent the screenshot from her Instagram, but in translation. Parabéns, Portugal. Enquanto os 11 jogadores cantavam o hino, todas as objetivas estão focadas em ti. Uma pena não ter podido desfrutar do melhor jogador do mundo durante 90 minutos. Os adeptos não paravam de gritar o teu nome e pedir a tua entrada. Oxalá Deus e o teu querido amigo Fernando continuem de mãos dadas e nos façam vibrar mais uma noite.
What is wrong with that? All she's saying is that I hope because everyone thinks that Fernando Santos is now against Ronaldo. All she's saying is I hope that you guys are hand in hand and ready to fucking battle this together to the end. There's nothing wrong with that tweet. If that's
No,
if that's the way it was
because
translated.
everyone has to make it a bad thing. That's what it is.
What is
Listen,
wrong with
I-
what she said? She's saying first of all, it's her husband, and yeah, everyone is screaming for you to come in, and everyone was happy when you came in. So all that is true.
Why do you think she said o teu grande amigo Fernando?
Because she's trying to make sure that everyone understands that they're still friends. Like they're not because before when everyone was talking
I find a lot of sarcasm in that. I found
too.
sarcasm.
coming in,
I read it with
now
sarcasm.
coming into this
Not-
game, everyone's like, "Oh, Fernando Santos, him and Ronaldo are not good. They're not on good terms."
Maybe
She's just clarifying that they're good friends.
Oh, because
That's how I interpret it.
You know what I'm starting to see here? Hold on, I gotta realign this here because it's
How-
almost like
I really don't see
the
what's
guys
wrong
in
with
the
that
white
tweet.
shirts have different opinions from the guys in the different colored shirts.
So I've definitely been like against Ronaldo like on the interview and stuff, but I really think like this is a perfect example. The media like manipulates people's minds so much that Portugal just won 6-1 and all we're talking about is Ronaldo.
Correct.
Like,
and that's what the media said. And I got a
Right,
quote
and
here
that's my
from-
point. They have everyone like sucked into like
It's
Ronaldo
not just what the media like.
Dude,
Ronaldo
please,
did
please,
this
the way
to
you guys
himself. Like,
interpreted stuff.
he wanted,
Can
but he
you,
wanted the attention on himself. He did the interview, made sure it came out right before the World Cup. He wanted the attention on himself.
100% on the interview. I think he's completely wrong.
Everyone talking about Ronaldo before the World Cup and during the World Cup. It's because of Ronaldo wanted it that way. It's not because the media's twisting and turning everything. Ronaldo
They are now though.
everything to be about
The
him.
thing is, the interview, I agree, was completely selfish of him, and it was dumb. But ever since that interview, So when they first like said hi to each other in the locker room, there was like a handshake between him and Bruno, and all the media said was that it was like, oh, he hates him now, they're fighting, and then Joe Madi was like, oh, they're talking about like, oh, because he was late or something like that. It's like the media just tries to change everything to make Ronaldo look like this villain against Portugal. When today he was celebrating goals, he came in and first of all, this game was a perfect game where Ronaldo didn't have to play 1 minute. He could have stayed on the bench the whole time, and he
told Fernando Santos to bench him so that he can make more media about himself. Like,
I just feel like everything he does, it's like you guys take the bad side of it. Like, what did he do today that was like so negative for Portugal? He came in like the 72nd minute or whatever, celebrated all the goals.
The only thing that I saw
Instagram.
The only thing that I saw that was like I didn't bring up anything about negative to Ronaldo. Mikey sent the video about him walking off the field when the players are celebrating. And to me, it looked like, man, if I know you're pissed off. I know that your career is like almost at the end when it comes to the national team, but your team just won 6-1. Your fans came from Qatar. Stay with them. Thank the fans. Walk out with them. To me, it would have been I don't think the media would have any issues to bring up anything about Ronaldo today if he had done that. But I think he likes the attention on himself. He does. By him walking off the field first, he's going to have all the cameras on him. All of them.
And they followed him.
The
He knows the cameras are on him.
The players over there applauding the fans are not going to have one camera on them. All the cameras are going to follow Ronaldo off the field into the locker room. He knows that.
They followed him to go applaud to the fans, but they didn't show it.
Right, but they did show because you said you saw the video. Didn't you say?
But that's not the one that's circulating. You have to go digging for that one.
But because of he leaving earlier before the other players,
that's the part that
as a captain. That's because he wants the attention, man. Maybe that's just me that thinks that he likes to have the cameras on him. Why do you think he was the last one to walk into every single pitch when he plays for Manchester United? He wants to be the center of attention, the guy that gets the last clap. You know what I mean? That's how he is. He likes the attention. And him leaving the field first today is going to get all the attention. Maybe not scoring goals-wise anymore, but he needs it somehow. And that's how he gets it.
I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you guys watch Men in Blazers or listen, but very well-recognized podcast here. And one of the comments from Raj, who was on the podcast, said, "We are watching a gent age without grace, a captain who, when you read the Portuguese press, is placing himself above the team. The story tonight should be how immense Portugal were without him. The real truth, without him, Portugal are a true contender." Do you agree with that last statement? Without him, Portugal are a true contender.
No, because I think Ronaldo still has to be there.
I think Ronaldo is needed, and I think Ronaldo is needed for the big occasion. I think Ronaldo is needed for a big game that we might need. Like I said earlier.
Yeah. Wait till we play like a France and you need a goal.
This guy.
I think they're a true contender regardless. they just
right. But I think Ronaldo being there is also like good for the team though. It's not like if he's playing starting or not is irrelevant. I don't think he's like a negative impact in the locker room at all.
Hey, and maybe this is part of this might be part of the plan. Let the attention be all on Ronaldo while we do our thing.
Jay, you're live with
us. Hello, fellas. How's it going?
So you're just a call-in now. You don't participate.
I'm actually just got home and I can talk.
What do you got to say? Get it off your chest.
Well, I know where everyone's talking about Ronaldo, but we should all be talking about Gonçalo Ramos today. I mean, that should be the main conversation. What a day. His goals. 3 goals, hat trick, and assists.
He should have had 4 though.
Hey, it's okay. You can't be greedy, right? You got to take what you can get sometimes. But I just thought today was a great day. I thought Portugal looked very good. I'm kind of on Kenny, and I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle between this argument with Ronaldo, to be honest with you. Like, I just think Oscar's being a little, I don't know, flippy floppy because he's treating Ronaldo the same way I treated Pizzi, but he was all bent out of shape about that. Like, I feel like it's kind of like similar situations, but when it came to Pizzi on Benfica, you wanted him to play, but now Ronaldo, you don't want him to play. You want him to sit him on the bench. And I just don't think that Ronaldo should be getting disrespected either. I feel like he's an icon I think that's a great comparison. I was listening in. You guys compared it to Michael Jordan. I think as a killer instinct and someone that wanted it so much and just didn't give a damn how anyone else played. He just cared what he played, and he knew he was going to get it done. I think they both have that same mentality. Ronaldo does play for the team, but he's not really like, I think I kind of agree with Oscar where he is kind of a selfish player, right? Like he does want the ball all the time. So like it's like, I don't know, you got to deal with the personality, but like, I don't know. Today we should just be celebrating about the victory, but everyone's talking about Ronaldo.
Hey, and I'm glad. Can I rebuttal because this?
Yes, thanks for the call, Tank. See you next week. All right.
Hey, so I'm glad he brought up Pizzi, right? Because at that time we were struggling with Jorge Jesus, and sorry, Paul, I know you don't care about Benfica, but I'm still gonna bring that to rebuttal back. So we were struggling with Jesus, and Pizzi got benched, right? And at that time I'm like, we were all talking about the final pass and the we didn't have. We were not creating any final chances. And Pizzi at that time, we've agreed. A lot of us agreed that he was a guy with even Jesus once said that he was a guy that will give you the last pass or the pass teleguiado, whatever, right? So who do we have there? Taarabt and Weigl in the midfield. That's what our choices. And to me, I thought Pizzi still had a place. Eventually, we got these guys coming in. And I said, yeah, we have to sell Pizzi. I came to a realization that Pizzi was there and it was an extra. So sell him. And that's fine. Well, everybody comes to the end. I'm not trying to disrespect Ronaldo. His history speaks for itself. But when it comes to soccer and what we need now, it's not Ronaldo. I'm sorry. We might need him there for big occasions, but not to start every single game like he needs to or like he has to because of his history. It doesn't have to be like that.
And I'm okay with that. And I'm coming to that realization. Like that's
I agree with that too.
Point. That's a fair point.
I agree that he doesn't have to start, but he definitely should be there.
No, I agree. And for even if it's like, look, we had this with Nani. Nani after like he fell off the he started playing a little worse. He was one of the superstars for Ronaldo when we won the Euro 2016, and all of a sudden he didn't get called anymore, right? So people fall off. It's normal. But Ronaldo's history makes him deserve to be in this, even if he doesn't play a minute, or even if he just comes in to play we already played in the group stages, but he needs to because of history. He deserves it. If we win a World Cup, Ronaldo needs to be there to win it, even to lift the trophy, right? Because he's been the best player the Portugal's ever had, and to me, he has. But when it comes to playing, he doesn't have to play at 90 minutes like everybody expects him to because of his history. That's what all I'm talking about.
I just want to say one more thing. Like I just don't like the videos like everyone's sending of him walking off the field. Like I think that's being disrespectful. Like people that are making that big of a deal or saying what he's saying, how he's putting the captain armband on Pep. Like I think making those videos about Ronaldo, I just think it's ridiculous. Like I think it's stupid.
But don't you think
he doesn't deserve I don't think he deserves the criticism.
But he's bringing it on himself. He's a guy that asks for this attention, right? So if you want to be in the kitchen and take the heat, then you're gonna have to take the heat from all sorts of directions, right? Like,
I agree with that, but like I just don't think it's. I don't know. I just think it's getting. Blown,
I get what you're saying.
Overblown, like this is
they're
like
abusing
like
it.
we're talking about these fucking videos instead of the game. Like this is like that's what I'm trying to say. Like that's the headline instead of the headline should be Portugal dominated today 6-1. We're gonna be taught like the headline's probably gonna be Ronaldo.
I just think it's like half truths. Like they say, oh, I think even during the game they're like, oh, is Ronaldo even celebrating for the first? Is Ronaldo even celebrating, right? And it's like you see all these pictures and Ronaldo, like they choose the ones that they want to show, and then you got to dig deeper or find out through other sources, right? That Ronaldo was there, or the video, right? They show that clip of him just walking off by himself. They don't show the whole story. It's like they navigate the narrative, and that's what media does. I mean, this is no surprise to anyone. It's just the way it is.
For the rest of the World Cup, as long as Portugal is there, you're gonna see Gonçalo score a goal, and as soon as he scores a goal, the camera's going right to Ronaldo. It's gonna be João Felix is gonna fake somebody or leave somebody on the ground. The camera's right to Ronaldo's reaction. It's gonna be like that no matter what. All right, that's how it is because it sells. It sells, and we can't do nothing about it. So now, any wrong movement from Ronaldo, even looking to the side or kind of saying, making movements like
keep that one on there, Mike. That statement right there, that's the one that I.
Oh shit! Because I thought PC carried Benfica for like 6 years, and you're still talking shit on him.
So Nick's comment here for those of you who are listening, not watching. Ronaldo carried Portugal for the last 15 years. For at least 15 years. It's time for the team to carry him now.
And I hope
don't
that's,
disagree with
how
that.
the team.
But-
and I hope that's how the team is. Like that performance today is
I
that
agree.
right there, right? Like
I
that's
agree.
we talked about it earlier, but like that is right there. That's the statement.
But it's not just the team; it's also him accepting
Yes,
him accepting that.
That's
new
my biggest
role.
concern.
That's a big
Which-
piece of it.
Which for me, like this whole soap opera Ronaldo World Cup leading up to World Cup interview, it looks like Ronaldo's struggling to come to terms with the end of his career and the role he now has to play on teams, right? He's used to being the big dog, and it looks like, I mean, he's not that anymore, right? Like he's the big dog in name, not on the field anymore, right? And
But-
it looks like he's struggling to accept that.
Yes, that's
and
Which
he's
is common.
And that's
right.
normal. That is
Correct.
normal for
I
a
don't
guy who
disagree.
has done what he's done.
But I also think today he didn't really show that. I thought he was fine today.
Ronaldo's reactions.
Yeah, everything. He didn't do anything wrong today.
The only thing
I
that
don't
I
think it
felt jumped out was him walking off the
Walking
field
off.
at the end. That's the only
Yeah.
thing for me that stands out for me.
And that's fine, right? I can see how people can see that, right? And
Yes.
I look at it as like and everyone put me like I just put like trying to put myself in his shoes, which is obviously impossible, right? But like he's probably walking off, like he's
You're better.
thinking,
You're
like
better,
that's
right,
just
Ken?
reflecting on himself, right? Like it's like it's hard to for a guy like that to kind of come to that exception, and him just walking off is just himself like reflecting on it, right? I don't think he said anything bad after the game. Before the game, when that happened, like everyone was on board. I don't think he attracted any attention around it. Like the decision was made and the game went on, and he didn't make a big stink about it. Like
Right.
I
He could have pulled the Man U thing when he's like, we're already up 5-1. Why the hell am I going to go into this game and just say I don't want to get subbed
Well,
in?
he's one goal away from Pelé's record. That's why.
Yeah, I know, but like that's like that's an assumption. You don't know that.
It's heavy.
But-
Kenny just said an assumption too. Doesn't know that what he's feeling.
no, my
But you
point
didn't
is,
say
but-
anything about him.
Yeah, of course he's chasing. Of course he's chasing the record.
But
That's-
it's an assumption. You don't know that.
It's Xavier.
my
It's
point
is-
Xavier.
The
It's
records
Xavier.
don't. He doesn't chase the
he's-
records.
he's
The records
chasing
chased him.
Pelé's
Oh,
goals.
please.
He's already over Eusebio's.
yeah, but so he could have waited till
I don't
next
think
game.
he is.
Dude, caralho,
He has 8 goals.
He's way past Eusebio's goals on the international level.
No, it's
No,
one
World
competition.
Cup. He's chasing
World
the World
Cup,
Cup
yeah.
goals. I think he has
And then
8.
is it
It's
Pelé?
nine,
It's
right?
Pelé.
Or something like that.
No,
Is it?
Nine-
Eusebio has
nine-
9 goals in the
Eusebio
World
has
Cup.
Eusebio has 9.
But he did it in one World Cup.
he did it in one World Cup. And
Here's
Ronaldo's
an
in
interesting
5.
fact which I didn't realize. Ronaldo hasn't scored a goal in a knockout stage in a World Cup.
Yeah,
I was not
Ramos
aware
has
of that.
3.
I was not aware of that.
In all-
Messi had the
in
same
major
until the last
competitions?
game.
In a
Who
World Cup,
sell
he's never
fucking
scored a goal
Oh,
in
in
a
World
knockout.
Cup. Yeah,
In a
well,
World
I
Cup.
mean,
Knockout.
Salu fucking
I mean, we were third place. What,
third place
2000?
in 2018, no?
2006.
I mean,
6.
2000.
Six.
No, we went.
Yeah.
We're 4th. We
Fourth
lost to
place.
Germany.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
we
we
lost
went
in
to
third
we went to
place,
that
yeah.
game though.
I actually saw this earlier. Ramos is the second youngest player to ever score a hat trick at a World Cup.
After Pelé,
behind
right?
Pelé.
So
Actually, that was the
that's
only
what I got
time
from.
though. But that's not that. So you're saying a knockout, but that was the only time that we got anywhere far with Ronaldo, right? Because in 10
Yeah,
we didn't get out of
exactly.
groups. We didn't get out of the groups in 10. In 2014,
And we lost
No,
Uruguay.
we got out of the groups in 10. In South Africa,
Yeah.
we did.
Oh yeah,
well.
in 10
Yeah.
we lost the first
South
round
Africa's
to
we
Spain
played
1-0.
Angola, right?
And then we
Yeah,
got
no,
out.
no,
We
you're
didn't
right.
get out in
In
2014.
14, and
In
then
18
last
we got out.
yeah,
And then
we've
we
only,
lost
we've
to
only
Uruguay.
played. He's only played that one tournament. The other ones we lost in the first.
I mean,
But at least 4
So
games
it's
for a
fun.
tournament. It's 4 games guaranteed for a tournament, other than 2014.
No, he's
yeah, but
saying
we're saying
knockout.
knockout.
Group stage.
This is
group
first
stage. Or
first-
knockout.
He hasn't scored in the knockout.
First goal
So
in the knockout
since
stage in World Cup.
2006, we've only played.
3.
This is our third game.
4 games.
Knockout, Karaju. Stop counting
Knockout,
group stage.
dude.
Dude, fucking in 2006 we played like 3 of
No,
knockout
I'm
games.
saying since that. So since then, so in the past,
So how many games have we played total?
this is our third.
Oh,
Well,
that's
no, he
World
played in
Cup
2006.
2006 he
He's-
played the
Oscar's
the
counting
oitavos-
the games from
games.
2006.
Yeah, because he was.
Yeah,
in the
I'm
team.
saying since then though. So since then, so it's probably like what 6 games total.
I don't know what the total number is.
No, we played 3 in
Um,
2006, which is the oitavo, the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and the semis, right? because we got
Yeah.
fourth place.
Yeah, we lost to Germany, I think.
3, and then
it
this is our third one since.
Yeah.
Then you
So
didn't start
Ben
this
says,
one.
what's the record? The one of scoring 9 goals in one World Cup. Yes, Mozebi's got 9 in one World Cup. Ronaldo's chasing that,
Ramos
but
needs
this
6
is
more.
his 5th World Cup. But again, completely different realities. Soccer was completely
man.
different back then.
If Remo
Nah.
gets another hat trick, he could be on the.
Listen,
Then we'll see if Ronaldo comes in.
Listen,
hey guys, if
Eder's
Ramos
got
gets
our
another
most
hat trick,
iconic
no
goal,
one's
so.
shutting Jason up. If Ramos goes
Nope.
another hat trick, no one's shutting this kid up.
I hope
I'll
he does.
fucking join him. I'll join him.
Listen.
Do these goals count for my 30 goals
Wait,
per
Jason's
year?
still
You
here.
know?
I thought this was just a call in.
No.
Jay, I have a question for you.
This
Who do you-
is like the hub, bro. You call in,
J-
you got 30 seconds and
Hey,
we hang
I-
up. Like, what's going on?
No,
Hang
they,
it up.
they haven't put the clock on me yet. They haven't put the clock on me yet.
Hey, Jay, I have a question for you, bud. Ready for this one? You told me I have a text right here that you said you still think Ronaldo today is the best striker for Portugal. Who do you start next week?
You're probably gonna keep the same lineup.
Oh, so you're trying to go back on the Ronaldo's the best striker currently?
I just think I don't know. Like in my
Yeah.
mind, I just think that he's the best striker for like overall. I think he's Portugal's best option. But I also I think whoever starts up front, it depends on the type of game that Fernando Santos is gonna play. In my opinion.
I don't
Right,
know
but
this
who
lineup.
you start? I don't care about Fernando Santos. Who you start? You start
Dude,
Ramos?
I've been riding the kid all year,
Just
man.
say yes, dude. Just say
Just
yes.
say-
Of
I want to
course.
hear it because on the
I,
text.
I, I, I probably
We have
I don't
awful
think you,
takes,
I,
all of us.
the thing is look, I don't think you can't not start Ramos after scoring a hat
So
trick.
then
Like,
say
I just
it.
think that you
But
can.
yeah, fucking say it, brother.
I
Say it.
think
Go
I just
stick
said
with it.
Ramos.
Stick with it. Don't say Ronaldo's the best
Before
option
you
right
hang
now.
up, say it. Just say
Don't
it.
give
I
in to
still think-
peer pressure.
No, I'm not.
Just do it.
I
Just
don't
do it.
listen. Dude, how the hell can anyone respond if you just do it? Do it. Shut the fuck up and let me talk. Jesus Christ. Like I said, I think Ronaldo is the best option. Like if you rate the players, I would probably rate Ronaldo higher than Ramos. But if you cannot not start the kid. Like you have to start the kid. Like he just scored a hat trick. He's riding high. He's got the confidence. The team played really well. Like you have to ride it. That's my opinion. So I would start the kid.
Hey, his name is Jason.
Hey, so just to close out on the Ramos thing, when we were talking about, and this is going back to the Benfica talk, but when we were talking about the Benfica players to start or join the Seleção, would any of us have thought that Ramos would have been the one that would have been like the star?
Dude, nobody.
We all said
think
João Mario.
We all said João Mario.
Mario.
Then I think we would all pick Antonio Silva before we even thought about Ramos. Right?
Ramos was the last minute addition. I think Ramos was like it
Unbelievable,
was
man.
on the line, going or not going. I think
It's
that was.
crazy.
I mean,
It's crazy.
that's
And if
final-
Jot does not hurt, Ramos doesn't go.
exact 100%.
Nuts.
Correct.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
and I'll say one thing. I was completely wrong about William Carvalho. Like
Yeah,
I
he's
said
a
that we were
beast.
gonna.
Beast.
I never seen him play like this. So I
Wait,
really.
do you guys really think that Jota?
I just
because then why wouldn't he doesn't play Andre Silva at all? How do you know he wasn't the one that limped in?
Because
I don't
Andres
know, man.
Silva.
Ramos hasn't been on the Seleção.
Yeah,
and-
and
and-
Andres
yeah,
Yeah,
Silva's
but
been
right,
like
but Ramos
Andres
has
Silva's been
killing
like
it.
the constant call up. He's always
Yeah,
there.
and he's always been Ronaldo's backup, Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Like,
But he's not been
so-
scoring this season.
He hasn't, but so
I
hasn't
think
Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's still our main guy.
Yeah, you're not going to
But
not
because
call
of his
Ronaldo.
past. That's the thing.
Correct.
Correct. Gonçalo Ramos didn't have a pass to go off of on the national team. Andres Silva at least had a pass to go off of.
But holy
Um,
shit, the confidence. We talked about the first goal, right? But how about that final little chip
So the
Zinha,
third
dude?
one, right? The chip.
No, so dude, the confidence on that kid to do that.
I thought he was going to trip.
And he looked like he took a heavy touch, and I was like, he ruined it. He ruined
I
it.
wish I could see Jay's face when I said that.
Mike, I think it was you and I think on one of the Benfica podcasts, he had a chip. I think it was him. He had a chip where like it didn't work out for him, and we bashed him. I think that week on that, and like the fact that
No,
He's
it was
I-
it was
anyone
not
that-
him. I think it was
Dude, it comes out sometimes. You can't hit them all. Sometimes you got to miss.
Listen, I've been a big basher, not a big basher. I'm just not a big believer of his yet. But like I said, time and time again, if he continues to prove me wrong, that's a good thing because it's in favor of Portugal. It's in favor of Benfica. So I'm fine eating my words. I made a bet with Freitas today on WhatsApp that if Gonçalo Ramos scores today, I would buy dinner for him in January when I go there. And sure enough,
You
I mean,
buying
if you
three?
guys
You own
follow,
three,
You're
now
buying
you
a
own three
three-course
dinners.
meal?
if you guys watch the WhatsApp group, I mean, those guys absolutely batter me every time he scores. So,
Attaboy.
you know,
I
listen,
I
I
need
can
to
take
start
the
reading
heat.
this chat.
Oh, I could take the heat, trust me. But listen, if I'm taking the heat, that's a good thing. That means he's scoring for Benfica and as of today for Portugal. So I'm all in. I'm
I hope
fine
he
with
keeps
getting the
carrying that
criticism.
mojo back home after.
Me too.
Can we go by player and how you guys think they did? Like I guys said, everybody deserves some kind of like thumbs up. I think everybody played a hell of a game from defense all the way. Diogo Costa is still a little shaky
That's
to
the
me.
thing. Like I don't like just thinking about it really quick. I can't see it. Like I can't think about anyone on the field that started that I don't think that didn't play well.
I thought Diogo Costa looked a little shaky, and I think he's a world class. I think he's going to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But I still find him a little shaky when it comes to some simple saves that he still seems nervous. I found that Bruno Fernandes up top on the right side hides a little bit from the game, and that's my feeling. Other than that, I think everybody was superstar.
Yeah, Bruno was a quiet, but I think he was
like,
still
comes
a
into the
top
game.
player. Yeah. No, he still
Yeah.
did well today.
He had the nice through ball to when
Yeah.
the goal that Ramos missed.
Yep.
But he I feel like he eases into the game. Like second half, I
Because
feel like he always
he's
turns
been
it
our
on.
best player in the last 3 games. So
Yeah.
so I mean we can't bash on him, but today he felt a little quiet because Bernardo plays phenomenal in the midfield. I think he
Dude.
needs to stay there.
I don't
He's
know
got
why
the
lowest
we've had to
you
deal
know
with
what?
Bernardo Silva playing up top for so long when we all could clearly see he's meant to be a number 10, and now he's finally
Well,
getting that
I like that
free
they
roll.
float.
He looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
I like that those him, Otavio, and Bruno were
And-
switching,
oh
and
my-
Felix. They were all
I-
switching.
I totally forgot about Otavio. Otavio's been he's good, man. He's good.
I was
I'm
about
so-
to mention. I was about to
I-
mention how a sneaky game he had. He played
He's
outstanding
good.
today.
He's a box to box. Even though I hate him, he's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
just
see any
gives that
switches.
midfield a completely different
Yeah.
characteristic that we don't have. Paul, are you gonna say?
No, I can't. I wouldn't even know who I'd want to put in over these guys after this game because of how well we played.
And then you have
So that's my-
Rafael Leão, who's phenomenal, man. Everybody praises this guy, and I don't see him with a spot on the 11 because these
I
guys.
think he's lazy.
that-
His issue is
So
that
I want to
he's lazy.
segue. I want to segue
Yeah, I
into
think
the
he's a
next
good
topic
sub.
so we
He's a good sub.
so we can close this out. Is A-Rod says here, does Morocco scare you guys? Right. So we're on to the next round. Morocco on Saturday. Morocco who beat Spain today. In
Look at his
penalties.
next comment.
All
All of a sudden,
it's
he's a
long-
fucking he's
It's
a
a-
football fan now. He's a soccer
Oh
fan
my
again.
God. Yeah, this
He
kid said this-
hasn't watched the games
This
of the
fraud.
World Cup.
For the
This
record,
is the guy who
forgotten
said that
that
Brazil
7-1.
wasn't going to win anything.
no, he's
Forgot
also a
this time.
Brazilian. He's
No.
a Brazilian that said he quit on Brazil after the 7-1.
7-1.
7-1.
Yes, I
To
have that on
Germany.
text
So-
too. He goes, I'm no longer Brazilian because they lost 7-1. So now he's a USA fan.
So yeah,
And then
you
USA
guys-
is
you
out.
guys-
Now he's a
Yeah,
fraud.
he's
He's a fraud.
a king fraud.
Yeah.
So we
Foil
play
fraud.
Morocco on Saturday.
Foil fraud.
Morocco beat Spain today in penalties. A tough game. They had their chances. How are you guys feeling going into this? And I want to bring up the bracket here on the screen. Just let me remove this quickly.
Man,
Couldn't
can we,
have been a
like,
better
touch
day.
base?
Earlier on in the day, Morocco takes out
Yeah, that's a
Spain,
great
and
game.
now the road.
Let's
I mean,
see.
listen, we still
Road
got
looks
to
a
win,
little
right?
easier.
Yeah,
I do want to. I want to say something about
Yeah,
Fernando
don't
Santos.
sleep.
Yeah, let's hear
So-
it, Paul.
So one thing that, and I think someone commented on this in the comments too, because I was trying to read them, but his only thing that pissed me off today was the subs because we
Joey
have
mentioned that.
key players that were riding yellows.
Ruben Diaz.
So
Should've
Ruben
fucking
Diaz is
taken
the one
him
that he
out
took out last. Oh, he didn't take
He
it at
should
all.
have
but,
gotten a
like,
yellow.
no.
He should have gotten a yellow.
Never
and he
took him
should,
out.
yeah. So,
Early on,
but you have Imbola or whatever. Him and Diaz are going at it all game. The moment that we went up 4-0 or 4-1, whatever it was, he should have taken out Diaz, Bruno, and Felix because especially like with the game we had today, like missing Felix in the next game, I think would have been terrible. And he like
Missing
even at
Diaz the next game would have been
yeah, the
huge.
same thing. So like it's one of those things where like the 65th minute rolls around, you're like, all right, it's time. And then like 70 rolls around, it's time. And he like just kept waiting and waiting. And then his first subs, he left.
brings on-
He left. No, well, the first ones he left in Diaz and Bruno. He took out Felix,
Gonzalo
Felix,
Ramos,
Gonzalo Ramos, and I
Otavio.
forgot.
Otavio. Yeah.
Yeah, Otavio, and he leaves 2 yellows in there. And then another sub, he brings in another yellow risk when you have Pellegrini on the bench that could easily have gone in. Like it made no sense to me. Like, and I get it because Neves I think lost his starting spot anyway. But like, dude, I feel like he forgets that people are or they haven't been cleared because
When did the cards get
It's
cleared?
cleared
Is it-
now. Everyone's safe.
now
Now
it's
it's
clear.
cleared.
Luckily, like I mean, granted we were up like 5-1 at the time, so it's like if these guys make a stupid foul for a yellow, but how many times have you seen like Bruno and Diaz get yellows just for mouthing off? And especially because that guy Mbola, he was like they were going at it the whole game. Luckily he got subbed out, and then it was like kind of, but I don't know why he didn't make those subs earlier.
Agreed.
I agree with that. I was asking for those subs like after 4-0. I'm like, dude, now it's a chance to get all the guys for the yellow cards out. Get them all out.
We got the bracket up here. We got Netherlands and Argentina on Friday. We got Croatia and Brazil on it's on Friday too. And then England, France on Saturday, and Portugal, France on
Who plays
Saturday.
what times? What
Portugal,
times?
Morocco.
Probably.
We're at
probably-
10.
Portugal,
Oh, we played
Morocco.
earlier. Oh, we played earlier.
Yeah, we got the
Portugal
10 a.m.
10.
game. Yep.
Oscar, I'll be in Florida.
And I'm
Um,
gonna be in Cancun Friday. I mean Saturday.
This guy.
All right.
It's like, where in the world is Oscar Barroso? You just don't know where he's going to be next. Morocco on Friday or Saturday. How are you guys feeling going into this game? Having seen what they did in the group stage, having seen what they did against Spain today, do we take Spain off the pedestal, having seen what we saw today, or is it PKs or PKs? It could have fallen either way. How are you guys feeling about this game on Saturday? And I'll also ask you guys, how are you feeling about us being able to progress to a potential final, knowing that if we win, we got England, France there? Do you think, there's too much talent in either of those?
So I'll start. So the only, obviously, for me, I won't say obviously. For me, I'd rather go against Morocco than Spain. That's, for me, I think it's an easier matchup. But
But Spain sucks, and that group sucks.
Knowing how Morocco defended today, that's the only thing that worries me. Was with a team that closes down and defends the way they did, I think, and they're probably going to play us just like they played Spain.
It's going to be a very different game than what we saw today.
It's going to be harder to find that through ball that we saw all day today. So that's what worries me. And then that's when you're going to have to feed the balls over in the air, right? And so then, who's going to jump on those? But I still would rather play Morocco than Spain. I don't think there's a question. To me, there's no question about it.
Yeah,
After that,
we have
so after that, I mean, England, France, semifinal. I mean, that's the draw, right? You're gonna have to play.
Yeah, you got to face someone good eventually.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the stage,
if we get England in the semis, we're in. Because
I'm not. I would prefer
Portugal,
England.
we got it.
I think we all prefer England.
I would prefer England over France, 100%.
I think we all would.
And we have England's number.
Really good history against England.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and we have good recent history against France.
Bring on whoever. Fuck them.
Well, that's true.
I'd love it if England, Netherlands, and Croatia won, and Portugal.
Yeah, it's perfect world.
Do you guys think if England won, Netherlands won, Croatia won, and we won, we will be favorites to win the World Cup? And not to us, but to most people in the world.
In the U.S. market, Portugal's never a favorite. You can
ask
have
Lexi Lala. He'll still rate like
coming home. England would be the favorite.
I think so too. In odds-wise, I think England would be ahead of us.
They probably would, but then we'd beat them in the semis, and then they'd still somehow put someone in front of Portugal.
Yeah.
Do you think? So you guys are feeling. So how confident are you guys feeling? I'll start with Kenny. From a how's your salty count feeling from a 1 to 10 here?
You're saying just Morocco right now, or winning the
against
tournament?
Morocco.
I'm gonna say, I want to say 10 out of 10, but I know that it's gonna be tough, that like breaking down that defense, but I think we'll still do it. So I'll say an 8 out of 10.
Okay, Oscar, how's that Salpicón feeling?
I'm pessimistic, so I'm gonna go. This
3.
is World Cup. This is the quarterfinals. I think we're gonna be like, I'm a 6. It's gonna be tight, and I mean, we just saw Spain how they did today, and they had all the possession and all that, and that team is not a joke.
Okay, and
Yeah,
before I
but-
go to you, Bill, Jay's got our odds here. Live bookie on the pod. I like it. Brazil's favorite at plus 175. France next with plus 400. Argentina plus 600. England 600. Portugal 600. Okay, so Portugal's even with Argentina and England. So
I think that's fair.
Wait, Croatia's below Morocco?
yeah,
So Croatia is the worst
they
team
have
on the
Brazil.
tournament right now?
Because they have Brazil.
yeah, because they got
That's true.
Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's
got
based on the
Brazil.
current matchup too.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Croatia. They've actually looked good. Danny's saying his Salpicón's at a 10 out of 10. That shit's ready to eat.
Shout
Let's
out Danny
go.
Salpicón.
Danny says $100, lock it in. We got wages going on live on the pod and everything. Jay, lock it in for
All
him.
right, Jay.
Jason's still here. What the hell's going on?
Put a mosquito on the wall.
Bill, how's that Salpicón feeling?
I'm going 9 right now, 9 out of 10. Because I look
Yeah,
at it
boy.
like Morocco's going to defend, right? So worst case, we're going extra time PKs. Looking at who we have on our roster to take PKs, like Bruno, Bernardo, Ronaldo, Felix. Like we have plenty of options going into PKs where I feel confident if it got to the worst case scenario, which is PKs, that we're getting through. So
And we know Diogo's good in between the sticks.
yeah.
When it comes
Bono
to
was
PKs.
fucking
Hey,
good today, my friend.
didn't Morocco just say like 3 out of 3?
3, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
did you see
dude.
the PKs?
There were shit PKs.
Yeah, the guy guessed the right side all the time.
Yeah,
Jay
dude,
says guys,
Gays.
Spain
Oh.
Spain should have scored like 7 today. Portugal beats Morocco 2-0 at minimum.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna-
actually don't think it goes to PKs.
I don't either. And
I don't either.
I'll give
But I
my
think it's gonna be tight.
Salpicón a
What is it?
9.5.
Okay.
Just go to
and
10,
I
dude.
no, because you always
There's
a
always
little bit-
margin
a
for
little
better.
bit of-
Professional score.
It's a
only
professional-
because I think Morocco, they beat like a shitty Belgium and Canada, who was probably the worst team of the tournament.
Qatar was.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, a second worst team of the tournament.
Second worst.
And I actually was like going into this game with Swiss, I was like a little, like not 6-1 confident, but after today's performance, I don't think Morocco's and the game like Morocco had some like counterattacks plays, and this one guy, he like ran so fast he almost fell over and lost the ball. Like I don't think they score at all. So if we get
Dude, you
one,
guys go to that way up so quick, man. It's unbelievable. Like keep yourselves like level. Like
Dude, we gotta,
easy.
they
even
took a
out the
bluey.
pot
Dude,
'cause you're so low.
Dude,
Well,
Oscar,
we're
we just
high,
won
it
6
evens
you
out.
we just won
You went
6-1
6.
and you went down to a 6.
I went to 6-1 is it's like you guys have been talking
Imagine,
about.
imagine
you guys
if we
can
were
go.
playing. Imagine
you
if we were
guys-
playing Spain, where he would be.
No, I would have been
Yeah,
50-50.
two.
I would have been a
It would be an
5-5.
innie.
It would have been a 50-50 to me. Spain is
Negative.
the 50-50. Like tell me the last game we blew them out.
And,
Well,
and
last
so
game they blew
Morocco's
us.
only
Yeah,
Morocco's
there's no
only 2
chance.
points better.
Huh?
1
Morocco's
point.
only
better.
or
Morocco just
Morocco's only
beat
a point
Spain.
better?
Morocco just beat Spain. Yeah, they like only. I mean, I know the Morocco's not as good as Spain, but they just beat them. So yeah, 1 point better.
Oh, so
Well, they
he's calling
tied
you
them
out,
and then
Oscar.
went to PKs.
Thanks,
I
Stan,
don't
they
think
just
they
beat
go to
him.
PKs.
I'm 10
Oscar
out of
just
10.
likes to hedge his bets, right?
Jay, you're
like,
going
if,
10 out of
if
10?
Portugal wins,
I-
it's like,
I-
blah, blah. But if they lose, it's
I
like,
don't- I have
told
the
you,
best
man, you
most
should
confidence
do
in the
6 out of
team
10.
right now.
You just said, Kenny, that we might have a great game followed by a shitty game. Like that can happen.
Jay said his
talking to
Salpicón's at a
me?
10, by the
Yeah.
way.
You said that.
And,
I truly think like our draw couldn't have gotten like better right now.
Yeah,
Like
Th- at
Spain,
I
this
agree.
stage-
we were all like,
I'd rather play Morocco than Spain, but
Joey says Morocco's got the best defense in the cup. It's a hot take there for you guys.
based on what goals conceded, they
I think
faced
Fernando
Canada.
Santos has another
they
trick up.
played Canada.
I really do. The guy somehow,
Only one
as
goal
much
suffered.
criticism as he gets, he surprises us, man. He really does.
It's funny. I think Canada scored the goal too.
Yeah, it was an own goal. All right, so we got Portugal, Morocco on Saturday. The winner of that plays the winner of France and England. Our predictions for the World Cup winners. Let me just bring them up here to see if you guys are still feeling confident in your choices here. Let's see. Let me go through these that we had picked. So surprises. Jason picked USA. Out. Kenny picked Poland. Out. Me and Oscar picked Japan. Out. Paul picked Denmark. Coitado. Bill, what was yours? I forgot.
I think mine was Canada. Fucking
Oh, it was.
fucking-
Yeah. Canada.
horrible fucking
That's why
pick.
you forgot. They were out like
Fuck.
after
They were
the
before it
game.
started.
Teams with high expectations that disappoint.
Yeah, but USA. I mean, USA, Poland, and who had and Japan got out of the group stages, which
Yeah. Yep.
still a surprise.
Denmark.
That's a
Paul.
good surprise.
Yep. I agree. That's awkward. Team with high expectations but disappointed. Jason, Oscar, Paul, and myself picked Germany. Good pick. And
Very
Kenny
good pick.
Kenny was on the hater train, picked Argentina. They're still in
Yeah.
it.
I was undecided between Belgium and Germany. Both.
Bill, who's
disappointed.
yours? Why don't I have yours noted here? Did you not say anything?
Or
He
you
might-
kept
he-
like
he might
skipping
not
me
been-
last
Dude,
time.
I don't
speak
think-
up.
I don't know if
I
Bill
don't-
was
I
on
don't
that
remember.
call.
Yeah,
was on
was
the
Bill
first
on
one.
that first call? I don't think he
I
was.
don't
on
think
the
he
first
was.
one.
He
The
was.
first one I was.
Yeah, he
Oh.
was just too inebriated that he didn't realize he was being skipped.
You all picked Germany. That's a good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. Title
Japan's a good
choice.
pick too.
Jason picked France. Kenny picked France. Oscar picked Brazil. Paul picked Portugal. Bill picked Brazil. Mike picked Argentina. We're all still in the game here, boys. Are you all still feeling as confident with your selections? Or do you feel a little bit different
Well-
now that the way the table's lined up?
No, at this point, I want to
I
change.
hope I'm wrong. I hope
Yeah.
I'm wrong and Portugal wins. But
Yeah, I'm still pretty confident. I mean,
Yeah,
France is a pretty good pick.
I still
Yeah.
think I think Brazil is way too stacked, and I think them taking the whole lineup up and putting a whole line is the starters for any other team in the world.
They're all
well,
still
I
good
agree.
picks.
when they did that, they lost to Cameroon though.
Yeah, but so did we lost to South Korea too. The game meant shit to them almost.
Fair.
But
Fair.
no, I would agree that so us in Brazil had have the easier route than the other guys. So hopefully England France goes to extra time PKs and we just smoke these guys.
Well, let's
again.
not let's not
eight
forget
red
Morocco
cards.
did that too. Morocco had extra time and all that, so like they might show up tired a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah, Brazil's
Got a
gonna have
long-
another field day.
They got a long rest.
Yeah.
You got 4 days,
They'll be
5
fine.
days. I think they'll be fine.
All right, guys,
go.
let's talk about surprises right now.
Oh yeah, let's do that before I do the predictions. Do you guys see a surprise happening in this round? And if so, which one is it? Jason, I'll start with you. Or do you think
Nope.
all the favorites go through?
I think the favorites go.
I can feel
If
it brewing in his
anything,
head.
if anything, it would be Netherlands over.
Oh, I knew it.
That's mine too. That's mine.
I could
That's mine.
smell
If
it
anything,
brewing in
but
his head.
honestly,
There's only two
listen,
games
listen.
that are toss-ups.
Listen, honestly, if there's one, I think it's that one, but I think Argentina's going to win. So I think it's going to be Argentina, Brazil, Portugal, France.
Okay, so he's picking all favorites. He doesn't think there's going to be a surprise here. Paul, you think there's going to be a surprise in this round? And if so, who?
So I mean, it's either if there's a surprise, it's England or the Dutch, because the other two I think are locked. So even though I really want Argentina to lose, I actually think England has a chance against France.
So are you saying England is your
So
surprise?
I'll pick. I will just because why be boring and pick all the favorites? Sure, England's
All right.
my surprise.
So your surprise is England. I'll go back to you, Jay, for this. Paul's surprise is England. Your lock is who?
Oh, I have a lock as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock in. So I'm gonna leave Portugal out, even though I think they're a lock. I'm gonna say Brazil's a lock because I think they're the easiest game.
Okay. Jason, what was give me your lock and your risk?
Portugal.
Portugal's your
Lock
lock.
it in.
And your
Lock it in.
surprise
Put it
is
on the board.
Netherlands?
Yeah, I'll do Netherlands for a surprise.
Okay. Bill, what's your lock and your surprise?
Lock it in as Portugal. And then surprise, I'm going to go England. And then they're going to get smashed by Portugal in the semis.
Oscar.
My lock is gonna be Brazil, and then my surprise is gonna be Netherlands. And
Do you guys hear the hater train? I hear it passing.
Dude, I mean,
I think it's possible. Why isn't it
No,
possible?
His
I-
Salpicão is much,
no, I just
Softer.
I feel, and then I think, and to me, England France is not a big surprise. I think England and France could.
I mean,
either-
Yeah, I agree. It's not a huge surprise, but France is the clear
correct, right? Yeah.
favorite in that one.
And then what do I say? What I have to say now?
Your surprise is Netherlands, you said?
Yeah,
You're good.
And your lock was Brazil.
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Jay says only France and England didn't win prep games before the tourney. England tied. All other teams in the quarters won. # winning matters. For those of you that don't
Then
have
how come-
context.
hey, but Portugal, France, and Brazil lost all their final group stage games, and then came
Yeah.
in and smashed in the first round.
Toma.
So I saw another
Winning
stat
matters.
that at least in the final, there's always one team that goes undefeated the whole tournament to
So
the
who's
final.
left? Who's left? Holland
And so England and Holland are the only undefeated teams right now. So
and Morocco. Isn't Morocco undefeated?
no, are they?
Morocco beat Canada,
yeah, they had
beat
7
Belgium.
points.
Oh
And
They
who-
shit!
tied.
Well, they're gonna lose. So that's my. Oh, is it my turn yet?
Yeah, what's your surprise?
So,
What's your
so
lock?
then we can get Morocco out of there. So Portugal lock,
Okay.
and then I think the surprise is going to be from one of those teams up there, and I'm going to go. I think one of those. I think either Netherlands or England.
You got to pick
Well,
one.
not
dude.
England.
Just
because I
align
want
with your.
Portugal. So I'm going Netherlands. So I just narrowed it
I
down.
knew you were-
Netherlands is a surprise.
Obviously, because your underachieving team was Argentina, so it only makes sense that you.
No, because
align with
I
that.
really do believe there's going to be an undefeated team to the final, and I don't want it coming from our side. So Netherlands it is.
Mine is. Yeah,
Pô, parece que
Oh,
eu tô
wow.
igual.
I agree with you.
We're getting robbed.
Paul's dog is
Paul's
messaging
doesn't agree with
me.
you. My lock is Portugal, and my surprise is also England. I think that they could potentially pull off a surprise against Mamape and company, but time
Yeah,
will
for,
tell.
For the record, I feel like the bottom two are locks anyway.
Well, time will tell. We unfortunately have no World Cup soccer now for 2.5 days, so
Friday.
I'm gonna actually have to do work during the day, which is kind of weird. But we'll get used to it. Thank you to everyone that was in the comments, boys. Any final thoughts before we sign off? We'll be back next week, hopefully, with a booked ticket to the semifinals.
we gonna do
Final thoughts
predictions?
before we jump off. Oh yeah,
Are
God,
we-
thanks for reminding me, Paul. Kenny, what's your prediction for the game?
So I predict for the next 2 days, since there's no soccer, I'm sure Ronaldo's going to fill up the headlines. And then I'll predict. I'm going to predict. I feel like we always concede, so I'm going to go tight game, 2-1. Portugal wins.
Damn, man, you're like a 10 out of 10.
I
confident?
just don't know if it's going to be an extra time or does it matter? I'm going. I don't know if it's extra time or in full.
No, that's fine.
It's like a
fine.
50-50.
Yeah, we'll be up
Well,
2-0, and then they'll score one at the end. It's not
So
a
you're
big
saying
deal.
2-1.
Well, this
we
10,
we're not going to penalties, wwhether it's in regular time or overtime.
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
10 chorizo should be like 4-1.
I had 8 chouriços. 8 chouriços.
Oito. Salpicão, not chouriço.
Ainda deixei
Salpicão.
2 para alguém, se quiser.
Oscar, what's your prediction?
My prediction is going to be close because I think it's going to be a close game, and I also say 2-1.
Okay, 2-1. Bill,
3-1.
3-1. Paul,
I'm gonna go with a 2-0.
my prediction is also 2-0. Jason, he's got a 10 out of 10,
3-0.
so this has got to. I was going to say it's got to be a
3-0.
confident score with the 10 out of 10 chorizo. Patrick says, "Does Ronaldo start?" I think we all agreed that he doesn't, and we roll out the same lineup. Or do you guys think there's any changes quickly?
Dude, we watch if he starts him. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts him.
No.
You think so?
I think it'd be the same lineup.
You got to
I think
roll
it'll be
with
the
the
same.
lineup.
You're already drumming up fucking the media talk already for the next 2 days.
He's a
People listen to
Cartageiro.
this, People
He
listen to
is.
this.
He does. He does.
Georgina's on the other line. She's writing a tweet or something.
She is.
Okay,
Good. I hope
yeah,
she's
yeah.
watching.
We're the media now.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone that was in the comments. There was a ton. And at some point I couldn't keep up, but I think I got to all of them. For those of you who listen back on the audio version, I encourage you to check us out on YouTube or Facebook and watch
Hey, what-
the video version for the comments. Kenny, you're gonna say?
Yeah, I just see a comment here from Joe. I have no idea what that means. Can someone translate that?
Pushka, Itereco.
That's
It's
an-
a Pinto da Costa thing.
Yeah, I don't know what the context is behind that. And one thing I did want to mention today is I don't know if you guys saw on our social media, but we're looking to, on behalf of our group here, make some donations to some charities or some families, for the holidays, for Christmas. So trying to just give back to the community. So if you guys are aware of any organizations or families in need, we would love to donate some gifts, make some donations, money or whatnot to help them. I think we all agree that every kid, every family deserves to at least have one happy day per year. And if we could contribute to that in any way, big or small, we'd love to do that. So if you guys have any recommendations, we've already received a few today. But if you guys have any recommendations on any organizations, or if you know of any families in need, please let us know. I know, we're all committed to the cause. Patrick says, let me know, please. I would love to help donate as well. We appreciate that, Patrick, and I'll reach out to you. But again, send us a message. I know somebody tagged us today on Facebook about it as well. So, we're looking to help. So please, by all means, send us a message and keep us in the loop. We'd love to give back for the holidays. As always, a pleasure, boys. It was a good conversation. We'll be back next week, hopefully with, again, a ticket into the next round. Hopefully we won't have sad faces and we'll all be able to celebrate again with another beverage to start the podcast. For everyone listening, tuning in, have a good night. Thank you for participating. And one last comment. Joaquin says, donate to Pedro. He needs to buy a dress. I'm assuming he lost fantasy football. Have a good night. Viva Portugal. And we will be back next week.
Later, guys.
Cheers, boys.